What's up guys, Bobqin here. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to lane against Yasuo as Leblanc. This is one of the most heavily requested matchups that I get. A lot of people ask me how do you exactly play the Leblanc versus the Yasuo matchup. Two champions that have really good all-in potential, a lot of dashes, really flashy, and yeah. A lot of people are struggling in this matchup and a lot of people are having, not as a hard time. So today I'll explain to you how I play this matchup and what I did exactly to win this matchup. A lot of people think that Leblanc is a counter pick to Yasuo, but I think it's still a matchup that Yasuo can win. I do believe, however, in the early game, Leblanc had a slight edge over the Yasuo, but as the lane phase goes on, as Yasuo purchases more items, he can actually win it from his side as well. I would say in the early game is about 60-40 favoring Leblanc. Yasuo can also itemize Wit's End and Mercrest early to counter the Leblanc damage, whereas Leblanc can't really buy armor in the early game to do the same thing. So in this matchup, Leblanc is a ranged champion and Yasuo is a melee. It means that he kind of has to walk up to throw out his Qs or auto attack the wave to push it. I don't really want to push this wave level 1 because me pushing the wave into him means that he gets a very safe time under tower to farm. I want him to be overextending and staying near my tower range so I can harass him down easily. Both Leblanc and Yasuo have a very strong level 2 power spike. Leblanc can use her QW to do a really strong trade, whereas Yasuo can take his E and dash through the minion wave and try to harass you that way. So both champions want to hit level 2 as fast as possible. So again, I don't want to push the wave, but I do want to hit level 2 around the same time if possible. So I'm just kind of matching his push. He's throwing out Qs, he's throwing out tornadoes. I'm just kind of auto attacking the wave. Whenever he's in range for my W, obviously I'm gonna go in and harass him because that's the easiest time to do it. On top of the fact that I am a ranged champion, so I give him like 4 attacks there. By letting him push in to me first, it allows my jungler to look for a potential level 2 gank. Even though the gank didn't work out, it did force him to go out of lane for a bit. That makes me hit level 2 successfully. At the same time, the wave is pushed into me. He now has to walk up past the middle of the lane to grab CS. He doesn't know where the Xin Zhao could be. He could be still sitting and gank him if he decided to cheese. But right now, he's just gonna take a risk and try to collect the CS and hit level 2. And I'm level 2, he's level 1. He's trying to hit level 2 by walking up to the creeps. When he goes for those CS, I can easily just go for it to QW, harass, and chunk him to very low health. Let's roll this clip out. So he gets level 2 off that minion. And he wants to E to the minions and clear the wave up. I go for a Q, W, and auto attack harass. As you see, since he's E's, every time he E's, he is putting himself in a dangerous position where I can just QW onto him very easily and get a really good trade-off. This is exactly how you want to play in the early stages of the game. You want to abuse the fact that Yasuo is a melee and you're a ranged champion, and you want to constantly throw out your spells onto him to bully him in lane. Okay, both of us hit level 3. I now have my chain and he now has his wind wall. A smart Yasuo player will always try to wind wall my chain. Just right there, he dashed in one more time. It puts him in a very vulnerable spot, and then I was able to land my Q and basically a point blank W onto him. So I got another really good QW harass combo off. Unfortunately, he did miss the timing on when walling my chain, so misplay by him. So this wave was able to successfully crash under tower, and hitting the tower this early doesn't really do that much, so I'm just trying to give him a hard time to CS under tower. So whenever he walks over CSing, I'm just trying to harass him. He E'd to the minion the moment I W, and he was able to dodge my W damage, which was really well played. I think this is how a Yasuo player can win the early game matchup if you do something like that. But the downside is that is extremely hard to do, and it's really hard to time, so it's oftentimes not reliable to win lane with it. Yasuo goes for a really good trade. I was able to trade back some damage, but I am very low on mana, and Yasuo is a manaless champion, so he's able to sustain lane, heal up with his Doran's shield, and push me in. So right here I'm out of potions. I just go for a quick recall, and I was able to get back to lane in time. So I was bullying him in the early game, and then Yasuo went for 2 really good looks, kind of brought him back into this game. So right here I'm just trying to last it one more time. I don't want to push the wave too fast because that results in the minion wave being near under his tower, where it makes it very difficult for me to harass him. And it gives him a lot of extra room for him to outplay me because he can just dash to the minion waves if he's a really good Yasuo. Right now I'm just positioning myself to see if I can get into W range. And right here, I was able to get my W off. I let my Q. and I land my chain. The reason why I did that is that I assumed that the Yasuo would chain immediately. Let's break this whole fight down in half speed to explain exactly what happened. So I'm just CSing, I'm finding opportunities to store my Q so I can take out his shield, passive shield. And as soon as his tornado goes down, because that can actually cancel my W, I'm just looking for opportunities where I can W onto him. That's my main source of damage. And here I W onto him, I catch him in my range. And right as I W onto him, the first reaction from a Yasuo player is that he wants to wind wall my chain. That's what I would do if I was a Yasuo player, because I would think that the LeBlanc would try to throw out the chain first. And knowing that, I just auto attack and I waited for him to throw out his wind wall. As you see, he threw out his wind wall immediately, so I just backed off. I was able to land my Q onto him, unfortunately. And right as he steps away from his wind wall, I was able to land my chain onto him, getting a really nice harass down. Had I missed my chain or gotten blocked, I would not have won this trade. So right now he's all in onto me. I was like, okay, I have a big minion wave. If I just fight in my minion wave, even though I don't have that many cooldowns ready right now, I believe I can still win because I have Ignite, I have a huge minion wave. I can just trade auto attack and I have a pretty good chance of winning. So we're just fighting. I got another Q onto him. He is just fighting in my minion wave. So I was very confident that I can win this duel. I drop my Ignite onto him. I still have flash. I ignite him. I Q him. And right now, he's basically dead. So all I have to do is land my W. It just came off cooldown. And he does have flash, so I don't want him to flash my W. So I'm waiting for the perfect moment. He dashes onto me. That is where I can land my W instantly. And he wasn't able to dodge that. I kill him. Let's watch that play one more time in full speed. Pop his passive shield. Dodge the tornado. I W in. Let my chain. I have a huge minion wave on my side. And there's auto attacking Q, auto ignite. And throw out my Q one more time. When he dashes onto me, W. And that's a free kill. And obviously the first thing I want to do when I get a solo kill is to push in the wave as fast as possible. Level 5 is kind of at a point where you can kill the minion wave pretty easily. So my minion demoralizer was just up for the first time. I demoralized the cannon, pushed in the wave, and I was able to get a really good reset. Yasuo is gonna miss his entire wave, and I'm gonna have a gold advantage and EXP advantage over him. Right now he has a pretty big minion wave stacked against me, so this is looking good for me. I do want to freeze it near my tower. However, I should trim the wave down a little bit because I don't want the wave to be so big that it just crashes really hard. So as you see, I was just auto attacking the wave. I was trying to trim it down. Right there, I got a really good QW harass and a chain. I sidestep the wind wall and I give him another Q to harass him. That is exactly what you want to do throughout the entire matchup if possible, because Yasuo will always expose himself very close to you because he's a melee. Okay, so right here I'm just trying to trim the wave down a little bit. It's crashing right now. Okay, Yasuo comes back with red buff from Ivern, and that is quite annoying. Okay, he steps up really close again. I went for another good trade. Red buff is healing him passively, so I'm just trying to last hit as many CS as I can here. Meanwhile, going for harass whenever he's up close. As you see, the lane is always on my side, and that is exactly where I want to control it. Zenzo went for a greedy blue buff invade, and unfortunately, he gave the kill to Yasuo and handed over the blue buff, which is okay. For another cute W harass, because he was really up close. Yasuo goes for all in here, but I was able to survive and take out his ignite. I know Yasuo still has flash here, so he might do some really cheeky moves onto me. As you see here, he did go for a trade on the tower, and unfortunately he was executed, which really bothered me at the moment in the game. But looking at it now, the shield was so big, I actually didn't end up doing any damage to him. Let's go over this play one more time in slow motion. So I know that he still has flash up in this moment, and he has tornado. He might do something crazy like E and then flash onto me, so I W away, and as you see here, I W back. He gets the Iron Shield. He really wants to kill me. I W away. He flashes and Q. He thought that would reach me, but it did not. I landed a Q. I was like, okay, this guy should be dead to me. He is way over the range. But he actually died to the tower because his shield was so massive from Ivern and his passive. He didn't actually take any damage from me, technically. That's why he was executed. Ended up burning my flash, but he still died. I still got the XP from it, so not too big of a deal. Around this time is where Yasuo can actually beat LeBlanc if he plays around the minion wave really well, because at the end of the day, I am a champion that have to land skill shots to kill my opponent. My W is a skill shot and my chain is a skill shot. If I can land both skills onto the Yasuo, I have a pretty good chance of winning the trade and beating them or even killing them. And Yasuo has like a million dashes as long as there's a minion wave. So if he's really good with dashing around, with it, using his E and dodge all my vital spells, he's actually able to kill me really easily. Outplay me no problem. And that really separates a good Yasuo from a bad Yasuo. But since Yasuo's E does have a longer cooldown in the early game, it's a lot harder for him to dodge spells compared to like level 8, level 9 Yasuo. Here we go for an insane 2v2. Let's break that down one more time in half speed. Exactly what happened. So right here we're just fighting. He got into my QW range again. He was able to kind of just tank it with his passive shield, but I still would say that was a decent trade. We're just trading QW. As you see, I QW him twice in that whole sequence. And this is where things get spicy. Ivern comes down from the top side. I'm just looking for opportunities to harass him. I got in range for my Q, and he dashes in, and I land my W immediately. I went for a really good harass. I see Ivern shows up here with a huge giant shield, so I'm just trying to wait out his shield. And I dashed back right as the shield expired, and then I went for a RW and ignite, which gets him super low. I was able to land my Q right before I go back to my distortion place. I see he uses wind wall, went back, used my chain, proccing the Q, picking up a 1v2 solo kill. Here I see the Ivern chasing me. I went back, my Xin Zhao connects to E, hits one of his Qs. I was like, okay, if the Xin Zhao has flash here, we can probably get another kill. Xin Zhao flashes forward, knocks him up, and we were able to pick up 2 free kills one more time in full speed. Yasuo gets in range of my Q. I let my W. I dash back, wait out his shield, drop my ignite, let my Q. I see his wind wall out. I let my E, connects to Q damage, and pick up a kill on Yasuo 1v2. And we pick up the Ivern right afterwards. And we push the tower in. The bot lane somehow rotated to mid, so we just take the backseat and recall. So right here, I'm 3-0. I have a pretty sizable lead over the Yasuo, and that is how you want to play the LeBlanc versus Yasuo lane. Always go for harass and try to go for like trades like that whenever he walks up, because at the end of the day, Yasuo is a melee champion. If he walks up, you can always go for harass like that. Look at him, he's just so helpless whenever I go onto him. As long as Yasuo doesn't gain like full melee range of you and, you know, auto attack you Q in your face, you should be able to win every trade. But you do have to play smart and like, yeah, play around your cooldowns, because at the end of the day, you're an assassin and your W cooldown is like quite long. Your chain cooldown is also quite long. Whereas Yasuo's Q and E, it's like basically don't have a cooldown. Okay, one more time. So Yasuo is already kind of chunked. He's sitting about 70% from the harass that I put down earlier. So I have all my skills up. I'm looking for an opportunity to dash onto the minions where I can land my chain. As you see here, he goes up for that CS. I W onto him. I was able to land my chain. By landing the first chain, I was able to actually land my second one. He didn't actually end up windballing this one. I'm surprised. I'm not sure if it was up or down, but I landed the second chain, and at that moment, I knew that he's gonna die to me again. So here he dies to me again. I'm 4-0 in lane. He is 1-4. He picked up that 1 kill off of my jungler. So yeah, that kind of concludes the lane phase. This lane is pretty much over for him. He will never be able to win trades basically anymore. Even with the help of Iron, he is basically out of the game. And he's down 2 levels. Level 9 to me being level 11. That's how you play versus a Yasuo as LeBlanc. I had a blast making this video, and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch it. I'm excited to see you guys win more LeBlanc games by applying the tips I shared with you. I'll be making a lot more guides and videos, so make sure to subscribe and share this video with a friend.